Tested. My name is Danny and welcome to my channel. I use technology like every one of us, and as a technology user, I actually like to use platforms that are efficient and capable. But unfortunately for Opera, this process has been more of a nightmare than anything. I recently have been trying to sell a PlayStation 4 on Opera and have been met with a lot of different challenges. First and foremost, when I did eventually sell my PlayStation 4 on Opera, I was met by a lot of discrepancies. The customer bought my PlayStation 4 and I thought everything was fine, except it really wasn't. Come to think of it now, when the customer received my package, they complained that they had a locked account on the console, and I was trying to essentially tell the customer how they can unlock the console by just resetting it fully. Now, I forgot to reset the console before selling it. Therefore, I made it my responsibility to reach out to the customer to try to help him. This turned into a back and forth arrangement between me and him, and I inevitably did try helping him solve the problem with him trying to get back into his console. The customer requested a refund, and I denied the refund because in the moment, I had offered him help, and he was really incompetent to actually try to get a system going up and running. But he requested a refund either way, and OfferUp inevitably took his side when they came to the actual investigation. Some things that I want to point out here is how you, the buyer, can be protected from OfferUp and for any other customer in the future, and is it really easy and effective to actually use OfferUp as a platform to sell your things? My personal opinion, no. I don't think OfferUp is a good platform to sell anything, especially if there are very picky buyers and buyers who are not willing to understand and not willing to cooperate with simple instructions that you can give them on the phone, even if it isn't your job to do so. It was very frustrating for me as a seller to not only have to not receive, the funds that I ultimately, needed for the console, but also it was a huge waste of time because I had to inevitably wait 5, 6, 7, 8, however many days to receive that console back. Now, I was met with a little bit of skepticism because OfferUp has a policy, and in their policies, they describe that you acknowledge and agree that there are risks associated with utilizing an internet-based marketplace and interacting with those other users in person. We do not investigate or verify any user's reputation, conduct, morality, criminal background, or any information users may submit to the services, other than the connection with the TrueU feature described in Section 5. You are solely responsible for taking all necessary precautions when interacting with other users, particularly when meeting a stranger in person for the first time. It is possible that the other users may attempt to physically harm or defraud you or obtain information from you for fraudulent purposes. You are solely responsible for and assume all risks related to selling and buying through OfferUp services, including all online and offline interactions with other users. Because of this, I am not protected by OfferUp. In fact, if you keep reading through the terms, you actually figure out and you actually realize that OfferUp tends to have a leg up on the buyers of items rather than the sellers. And it's really frustrating because when you want to sell something, you expect a company to have your back. You expect a company to be there with you every step of the way regarding any incident. But OfferUp, when I was contacting them through their support services, they were immediately just blatant and unresponsive. I sent them multiple emails, multiple occasions. I tried to reach out to them and they were unable to actually reach back. OfferUp system where they just kind of gather up information, they investigate the claims, and they pick usually the buyer's side. I think a fatal flaw of OfferUp has to do with the fact that they just don't have a consistent way of agreeing with both sides. They usually take the buyer's side and they never really ask the seller to provide evidence regarding anything. Usually the evidence that is asked is usually for the buyer, not the seller. And personally, I think evidence should be equally given in this case from both sides of the party, so it could be an equal arrangement, but OfferUp doesn't really provide that. In conclusion, if you are a user, an electronic user, you are someone who just is trying to sell something on OfferUp, you are someone that is trying to get by, maybe trying to make a little bit of extra money on the side, and you think that OfferUp is a great platform, I do stress this enough, with tons and tons and tons of care, please be aware that there are a lot of very picky buyers out there. There are a lot of people who will misuse your item. They might they might try to scam you, they might try to swap it, send it back. It's very risky to use the shipping feature on OfferUp, and I do suggest this. If you do use OfferUp as a platform to buy and sell, I recommend just to keep it locally, because that way you won't necessarily have such a huge headache when something ultimately ends up happening as what happened to me. Hopefully you guys find this video informative, and hopefully we can talk about this a little bit more in the comments, however you guys want. My name is Danny, and this is Nova Tested. I'll see you guys later. Peace.